Hey everyone, Tiffany here. Welcome back to my channel. For this video, I just wanted to come on and decorate some pages in my new journal. So this is a journal very much inspired by the journals that I recently released into my shop. So go check those out if you're interested in purchasing a journal. But yeah, so I made myself a journal. There's a long backstory to why I made myself this particular journal. So if you saw my B6 Slim TN setup, you would know that I was going to use that as my everyday carry for next year. And I made a little B6 Slim junk journal type journal in that. Well, I've decided to stick with my Filofax personal rings for my everyday carry because I realized that for a planner, that's what works for me, and why change it up? So I had that B6 Slim, and I was going to use it for working through some e-courses that I've bought in the past. So I have, if you follow me on Instagram or if you read my blog mostly, you would know that I follow this blogger and photographer and writer. Her name is Susanna Conway, and I'll leave her link down below. And each year she does a workbook called Unravel Your Year, and it's sort of like a one little word type thing and goal setting and stuff like that. Anyway, so she does classes, and I bought a class from her back in maybe 2015 called Unraveling, and when it first went live, I did half of it, and then I have never finished the second half. I tried doing it again beginning of this year, and I didn't complete it. I didn't really pull through with it. So I'm hoping to switch it up and do it sort of like in a art journal kind of style. It's more of an introspective class. It's very photography based, but also journaling. And so I figured maybe I make my own journal for it and do everything, like all the writing and everything in it, instead of doing it. I was doing it in binders and like in planners, really A5 planners, and just have one place for all of that and like all of my thoughts and stuff like that. And then I have a stack of books that I sort of want to read that kind of tie into the whole learning about yourself sort of deal. And so I figured to use the TN for that, for going through that. But then I looked at it and I'm like, wow, this junk journal is kind of small. I don't think it's gonna fill me out the whole year. So I decided to make me another junk journal, sort of in my style. This is the size and style that I use for my travel journals. So if you've seen any of my travel journal videos, this is the size. It's a 6x8, so it's a little bigger than a A5. But yeah, it's 6x8 in size. And this is my go-to size for whenever I do my travel journals or go on a trip. I tend to, so far I have two of these that are travel journals. I have one really big TN that was a 3-month thing, but I had to do it in a TN form because traveling, I would have needed like 3 of these books for 3 months, you know? Traveling wise, a month can fit into one of these little books that I make, and that's with stuffing it. That's with putting extra pages and pamphlets and all sorts of things. So I have 2 of them full of 2 different trips, and then I have 2 other TNs that were longer trips that I needed to use TNs for. But this is my go-to. I love using this size and this style of journaling for my travel journals, and since I love it so much, I was like, you know what? Doing this class and reading these books that I picked out that kind of go along with the theme of the class, it's sort of like traveling. I'm discovering who I am now as opposed to who I was then. And so I figured that I would keep a journal. My journal would be kept in one of these. So I made this. I literally made it in a few hours last night. And it's just different scraps that I have. This beautiful floral fabric though was from one of my friends, Trish. If you're watching this, I used it on a journal cover. It's so pretty. I didn't use all of it. I just used up to here, and then I added this. This was from my old tank top that I had, so I just kind of ripped it up and used it because it's embroidered and it has little flowers on them. And then of course I put some of that lace that I always like to use, and this lace, and then the inside is just canvas. And so this has 2 signatures in it. So I put 2 signatures, and I think that's enough for my year of sort of discovery, self-discovery, I guess I'm gonna call it. I actually don't know. I don't have a plan yet. I know I'm just gonna go through the course, and then Susanna Conway also has a free course on her site that's sort of the same, except it's using your senses to observe, like to be more mindful and observe your life around you, and so I might go through that as well in here. But I'm definitely going to add pages and flip outs and tuck spots and all sorts of things in here. This is just the basic 2 signatures, and I think once I fill it up and add more pages to it, I think it'll be good for a year of self-discovery. So I just kind of wanted to show you, give you a quick flip through of this journal, and then I kind of want to start adding some stuff. So I pulled out some stuff that I know I want in here, so I was gonna just go ahead and start adding things in here. So it's not gonna be like a real junk journal with me video, because I'm not gonna be doing any journaling yet, but I am going to be doing like sort of the decorative part of it. But so I want to give you a flip through. So this is what you first see. This paper. So what I did with the papers, this scrapbooking paper, but you know, these papers, is that I have made journals this side in the past that I've taken apart and didn't use, and that was for like previous travel journals that just either the trip didn't pan out, so I never used them, or if you saw my Europe 2017 journal, you would know that it had 2 signatures in it, but I only ended up filling up 1, so I ended up taking the other signature out. So I have a lot of pages like this. So what I did was I went through that stack to find papers that just kind of spoke to me. And then of course I went in, I used a lot of digital paper from Maggie Holmes, because I just love these particular papers. And I wanted to put papers and the color scheme in here to be something that I love, you know, that I love these papers, I love these colors, because I'm going to be working in this, you know, about myself. So this was one of the papers. I believe it's an old Dear Lizzie paper, but it's so pretty, and I found it in that stack. And then I put this doily around it, and I just loved it as an intro page. I was gonna make the music paper over here my intro, but this just stole my heart when I put this doily here. So yeah, let me just get into the journal. So I put, in that stack of papers that I had that were already cut and everything for this size, I had a lot of this kind of blue grid paper, and I don't really like, well, this is just thin paper. I tend to use a bit more cardstocky type paper for my grid, and I like my grid I like my grid gray and not blue. But you know what, I had this paper and I didn't want to print out more paper, so might as well just stick it in there. Again, this is Maggie Holmes Bloom, and then on this side is Maggie Holmes something else. I forget which collection that came from, but these are digitals that I just printed off on this cardstock from AC Digitals. A lot of book pages, and I use the Secret Garden book that I've been tearing up because I love that idea of a secret garden. This is some Daphne's diary paper, just pages from the magazine, but I love the little illustrations and colors. This is a security envelope, and I used to do this a lot in my travel journals. I don't really do them in my journals now, but I decided I had a few in that stack to put them in. What I like doing is like covering up this stuff, but like doing art or something on this side so it peeks through. Oh, I love it, love it. I love this paper. This is another one from that stack. This is a Dear Lizzie one. This one's from Polka Dot Party, I believe. This was also in that stack, and I don't know where I got this yellow polka dot paper, but I don't have much yellow, so I like having little pops of yellow. And this one's stitched. If you see here, it has some stitching, some pink stitching to some of that grid paper. More of those book pages, grid paper, music paper that I turned into a pocket. So each signature has a pocket, so there's a pocket here. More of that Maggie Holmes Bloom. This is from Maggie Holmes Confetti grid. This is just a regular music paper. More music, and then that's the middle of the signature, and so it just repeats itself. Again, that other side of the pocket, and it just the other side of that envelope. This pattern is really dark, so I may kind of cover that up, but I really wanted it for the windows. A Daphne diary paper. So that's this one. And then the second signature is similar, different papers, but kind of similar. This is from Maggie Holmes' Shine. I love this music paper. Bloom, confetti, and these are all digitals. Style board, that grid, some book pages, some music paper, and this one I also made into a pocket. So this signature also has a pocket. This is beautiful from Daphne's Diary. So pretty. I think this is from Style Board. Confetti. Again, another one of those security envelopes. I actually like this blue pattern better than that other kind of black-gray pattern. It's a nice pop of blue, that's why. A Style Board, this paper's from Style Board. I believe this stripe is also from Style Board. Some more music paper, some more of that blue, some of that more of that yellow polka dot. Again, this one's also stitched. This page, it kind of ripped when I was stitching it, so I had to washi tape it in. It's fine. Things like that will happen, but you know what? It's a junk journal, so a lot of this stuff is going to be covered anyway. These are just pages to use as a base. So that's like, if you want to make your own journal, pick out papers and stuff that you really, really love, I say. And then, you know, if there's something like that or like this, you know, it's kind of ripped up there, or again, if you have to put washi on something like that middle piece, just know that you may cover it up. You know, you may cover up these beautiful papers, or you may not, but you use them as a base. Love this. Like, this is something that I probably won't cover completely. Here's the other side of that pocket. And that is the book here. And so I was going to just start decorating some things and putting it in the journal. So I'll probably play a little bit of music because I'm not very good at talking while I'm while I'm making things. I kind of get distracted with what I'm saying. So I'll probably put on a little bit of music, or I might come on with a voiceover, who knows. And yeah, so if you are interested in watching me start building up this journal and start decorating and adding little bits in there, keep watching, and I hope you enjoy.